Your heart starts racing out of nowhere. Maybe you're just sitting on the couch or driving or about to fall asleep, and suddenly chest tightness, heart pounding, dizziness, unable to breathe properly, and your brain goes, this is it, something is seriously wrong with me. Maybe you went to the ER, maybe you've had your heart checked 3 times and they keep telling you you're fine, and yet the next time it happens, it feels just as real, just as terrifying. If that's you, I'm not going to tell you that it's just anxiety and send you on your way, because that doesn't help. What I am going to do is show you exactly what your body is doing when this happens, and more importantly, why it keeps happening even though you're perfectly healthy. Because once you truly understand that, you can change how you react to it. And this changed everything for me and for more than 2,000 of people we've now worked with at Anxiety Wave. So stick around. This is the video I wish someone had showed me 6 years ago. All right, so let's start with what's actually going on. Your body has this ancient system built into it, a survival mechanism that's basically kept us alive for thousands of years, run by one of the oldest parts of your brain, the amygdala. You've probably heard it being referred to as fight or flight. And I know you've heard it before, it didn't help, same with me, but bear with me because most people explain it wrong. This system exists for one reason, to keep you alive when there's real danger. When your brain thinks you're in danger, and I want to emphasize thinks because it doesn't actually need to verify that the danger is real, it sends a flood of adrenaline through your body, stress hormones. And the adrenaline, those stress hormones, causes very specific physical things to happen, like your heart speeding up, to basically pump more blood to your muscles so you can run or fight. Or blood gets pulled away from your digestive system, which is why you feel nauseous or you get that weird feeling in your stomach area. Or your breathing changes. It gets faster often and more shallow to bring in more oxygen basically. Or your chest tightens because the muscles around your ribcage are preparing for physical effort. And you might feel dizzy or lightheaded because blood is being redirected and your breathing pattern basically has shifted. Now, if you were being chased by something, all of that makes total sense. You wouldn't even notice it. You would just run or fight. But here's what happens to people with anxiety. The fight or flight system goes off without any clear identifiable danger. Maybe you're stressed, maybe you're tired, maybe there's no obvious reason at all. It can even happen while you're asleep, right? And so you feel all those same physical sensations, racing heart, tight chest, dizziness, and not being able to breathe properly, but there's no danger in front of you to explain it. It's like when you finish running a marathon and your heart's beating rapidly, except now you didn't actually finish your marathon, but you're just sitting at your desk getting those same sensations. Naturally, your brain does the most logical thing it can do. It starts looking for potential threats so it can warn us of them. Because the primitive brain isn't designed to make you feel happy or joyful. It's designed to keep you safe. So it'll always rather be safe than sorry, and it uses past experiences and references and knowledge to try and predict the future. So when the brain can't find any danger outside of you, it may look inward. Because the brain is aware that apparently danger can also come from within, because it has learned that heart attacks, for example, happen to people. In fact, maybe you've heard of people your own age getting one. Now the brain's like, this is a serious threat. There is a possibility, even though the probability is potentially really low. This is also why, for example, small children don't worry about heart attacks, because their brain doesn't even know of such a thing yet. In our case, though, the brain looks inwards using past experiences and references to predict a future, and so the thought arrives, what if something is wrong with my heart? This is what most doctors don't explain, and honestly, it's not their fault. They check your heart, it's fine, they send you home, that's job done from a medical standpoint, right? Your heart's fine, so no need to worry about it, right? Except it keeps beating like crazy for no reason, so surely something must be wrong. Surely they must have missed something. And nobody explains why it keeps happening. So here it is. The moment you think, what if this is a heart attack, and you start to kind of act on that, you've made what I call the mistake. I don't mean that to be harsh. I mean, it's the most logical mistake in the world. I made it too, like hundreds, if not thousands of times. The mistake is basically this. You've taken a perfectly normal physical response from your body, your fight or flight system going off, and misinterpreted it as a sign of danger. And the second you do that, your brain believes you. It hears danger and releases more adrenaline, which makes the sensations even stronger, which makes you more scared, which makes the brain release even more adrenaline. Do you see there's a loop here once again? Do you see there's a cycle? Basically, it's sensations, misinterpretation, the fear response kicking in, more sensations, more fear. That's, a panic attack, not a heart attack. It's anxiety, a false alarm that feeds itself. And here's the thing, and this is important. You cannot die from a panic attack, not physically. Your heart is not in danger. You're not going to faint. You're not going to lose it. And I know that sounds like, something people just say, but think about it from an evolutionary standpoint. Your fight or flight system is a survival mechanism. Evolution would not have designed a system that kills you when it's activated. That would be like spectacularly bad engineering. Like lazy saber-toothed tigers would probably be running the world if that were the case. So what it does feel like is dangerous. It feels dangerous. It feels uncomfortable. It's completely, convincingly, terrifyingly real. I know because I've been there. I went to the doctor 3 times in 1 month thinking something was wrong with my heart, but it wasn't. The body can only sustain a high amount of adrenaline for a limited time only. So even at the absolute worst, the feeling kind of always passes, right? Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, Jord, I know this, I've been told it's anxiety, I've read about it, but it still happens. And I know. And here's why. There's a big difference between knowing something in your head intellectually and actually believing it in a moment when your heart's pounding and your chest so tight and your brain screaming like something's wrong. Because in that moment, the logical part of your brain goes offline, basically. Your survival brain takes over, and your survival brain is not interested in what you read in an article. It's only interested in getting you out of danger now. Right? The survival brain only watches you behave. It doesn't actually listen to anything you're saying. So the solution is not more information. You don't need more convincing that you're physically healthy. You've had that. And if you haven't, by the way, seen a doctor yet, that'd always be the first thing to do, just to rule out any real medical conditions. But in the case with anxiety, what actually needs to change is your relationship with the sensations themselves. Right now, the second those sensations appear, again, the racing heart, the chest tightness, whatever it is for you, your automatic response is fear. And that fear is what keeps the cycle alive. That response is behavior, right? You either engage with the thought of having a heart attack, maybe you try to push it away, maybe you argue with the thoughts, maybe you use like a smartwatch to track and measure your heart rate all the time, or you take a trip to the ER, or you do a breathing exercise just to calm down. And look, all those things communicate to the nervous system that you're in danger. They confirm the potential threat. All of those things increase the adrenaline in your system, making your heart beat even faster. It's as if now you're not fighting 1 tiger, but 2, right? In fact, when you keep on focusing on your heart area, for example, you also activate the senses around your heart, so you actually feel and hear your heart beating more intensely. That awareness can once again trigger that fear response, making your heart beat even faster. So us checking in is also a big part of the problem. What changes things is learning to meet those sensations differently. Not to fight them, not to run from them, not to try and breathe them away, but to actually allow them to be there. To act as if you are completely safe, as if you don't really care about the discomfort. And I know that sounds completely backwards. Why would you allow something that feels so terrible to just be? Well, because the moment you stop resisting, the moment you stop fighting the sensation, you remove the fuel from the fire. When you don't fight or engage with this potential threat, the nervous system learns and it stops sending you all this nervous energy because it has no reason to, because clearly you're not in danger, right? Because you're not behaving as if you are. And over time, it will learn that in general, you're not in so much danger. You need to be in survival mode from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, and it desensitizes. It's like a wave coming over us where we really don't have much control. So the only thing we can do is decide to fight it and make it worse, make it remain in our lives, or to allow that wave to kind of crash over us and dissipate naturally, so they basically stop showing up altogether. So if you've been going to doctors, if you've been getting heart checks and being told you're fine, you probably are fine. I'm not your doctor, and obviously if you have a genuine medical concerns, go and get it checked. But if you've been checked and if you've been cleared, what you're experiencing is very likely the exact cycle I just described. And the good news is it's not permanent. It's not who you are. It's a pattern your nervous system has learned, and patterns can be unlearned. And that took me 6 years to figure that out. Tens of thousands of dollars in therapy, courses, books, or these supplements I ordered, you name it. And it always came down to kind of understanding this cycle and learning a new response to it. We've had so many people in the program with like heart anxiety, like Matt, a guy from the UK who just finished the program actually a couple of weeks ago, who had panic attacks in the shower because his heart rate would increase. Or Johnny, who didn't let his heart rate go over a certain threshold, afraid it would trigger a panic attack or heart attack. They learned what was truly happening and how to deal with it in a way that doesn't make it worse. And that's the skill, which means it takes time to practice and to master it. But like any other skill, anyone can learn it. If you want to go a little bit deeper, Johnny actually sat down with me and walked through his full story, how it started, what he tried, how he finally got out of it. So if you're dealing with heart anxiety specifically or health anxiety, watch that first. I'll put a link below this video. And if you want to understand why the things you're doing to feel better are probably making it worse, like breathing exercises again, grounding, reassurance seeking, I made a video on exactly that as well. It's probably the most important one and on the channel. The link's below this description as well, in the description. And if you're at a point where you feel like you've tried everything and basically nothing's working, I get it. I really do. So feel free to reach out to us at Anxiety Wave. We work with people every day who were exactly where you are right now. You're going to be okay, and you're not alone in this. I really want you to know that. I hope this has been helpful so far. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Check out the other videos in the description below.